Hey everyone, it's Ariel Helwani alongside new Brave star Josh Donaldson. My man, it's been a while.
It has.
How are you?
It's good to see you, man.
Oh, it's so great
Yeah.
to be here. Wow, this is kind of like a dream come true for me. MLB dugout, former MVP, future NL MVP. This is great stuff.
I like
By
that.
the way, how are things going? New home?
Everything's great, kind of getting settled in. We just got started off to a 0-3 start, but we've been kind of on a good ride here in the last 10. I think we're tied for first place right now, 7-4. So after starting off a little slow, we're doing really well as of late.
Does it feel still like you're the new kid, or do you feel like you're fully ingrained in the
Yeah,
system?
I mean, I feel like I'm ready to I haven't kind of put my mark yet
Yeah.
in a game. I've made some nice plays defensively, but offensively I need to turn it up just a little bit.
A lot of changes for you over the past few months.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is the home for
I
the
hope
next
so.
few years?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I can't. It's hard to really sit here and say like what my future holds,
Right.
Because I don't really think about it that much. I kind of just. Our seasons are so long, playing 162 games, and I want to say it's close to 190 days.
Right.
So we kind of just have to stay in the moment and not really. It's hard for me to think too far ahead.
And you grew up a Braves fan.
I did.
This was your squad.
Yeah, I grew up in, I grew up probably about 5-6 hours from here, and being on TBS, they were always on TV, so I always followed them, and they had some really good teams back then too, so it didn't hurt.
What was it like when you first put on this uniform for the first
It
time?
was different, especially being in Toronto. I so many great memories and stuff in that uniform, and then kind of going into Cleveland a little bit last year, and now bouncing to Atlanta over here. It's been different, but as a kid, this was always the uniform that when I saw myself playing in the big leagues, it was the uniform that I was going to wear.
And your guy was Ron Gant.
Yeah, it was
Coincidentally, my favorite player as well.
Come on.
I swear, we share this in common.
I got to meet him.
That was my question. Have you met him?
Yeah, I met him about 2 weeks ago. I just remember one of my favorite. He had huge arms, something that I'll never have, and he swung really hard and hit some homers. That's what I liked about him.
And thus far, are you noticing a big difference between NL and AL?
I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. Not, I wouldn't say. I mean, I feel like everybody kind of does the same stuff overall in some shape or form. So it's not too much of a difference, but just kind of getting used to some ballparks. It's been a little bit since I played in, and that's all.
Of course, first time I met you was at a UFC event.
Yes.
You're a big MMA guy.
Yeah.
You still watching?
Oh yeah.
Who are you excited about these days? Who are your guys? Your boy Wonder Boy recently suffered a tough loss.
Yeah, that was the first time like I had a pit in my stomach.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you saw him get knocked
Yeah.
out? Man.
I've immediately kind of got it like rage going.
Really?
Yeah, like I wanted to go fight for him.
Right. That was shocking.
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
And I mean, Showtime Pettis. I mean, I've known Showtime, or I don't know him personally, but I've watched him. And I mean, I think everybody was a little bit surprised, but congratulations to him. And I know Wonder Boy's gonna bounce back. I've talked to him, and I know he's gonna come down for a game at some point. But yeah, that was the first time I had a pit in my stomach to where, like, it felt like a family member kind of going down on the canvas, and that's like one thing I've enjoyed a lot about the UFC. This guy's kind of getting clipped.
Right.
And that was the first time when I looked, I was on the other end of it. I was like, damn. Like,
It's tough.
I didn't like it that much that time, And, but I'm hoping that he's going to bounce back, and we'll see what happens.
UFC's here this Saturday, UFC 236. Are you going?
Who's on the, I haven't seen
You're
who's
busy.
on the card. Yeah.
You're busy. Main event is Max Holloway against Dustin Poirier.
Oh, wow.
Interim lightweight title fight. And then co-main is a great one. Israel Adesanya against Kelvin Gastelum, interim middleweight title fight.
Wow.
Are you free? You could be my
Is it
guest.
Saturday night?
Yeah. You guys playing?
I think we do play Saturday, but the main event's probably what, like 11?
Oh yeah. 11, 12.
11 or 12?
Yeah.
If I can get over there, I would definitely love to get over there for that card. I mean, Max Holloway, he's nice with it, so I like to watch him anytime he gets on there. And Israel has kind of been doing his thing for a little bit now.
Right.
He's exciting to watch as well.
By the way, I was curious. you were playing the Phillies right across the street from
Yeah.
the UFC, and your game ended around the main card. Did you go over?
I
to
didn't go over. I didn't go over. It was kind of early in the season,
Yeah.
and I didn't really kind of want to go out, and especially kind of on the road. It was, I don't know, it would have felt
Focused.
weird.
Okay, fair enough. So I want to play a little game with you.
Yeah.
It's called fair or foul. You
Okay.
get it? You get what I'm
Yep,
trying to do
I get
here?
it. Yep,
Like
I get it.
baseball. I'm going to ask you some questions. You have to tell me fair or foul.
Okay.
Okay? You
Love
ready?
it. Love it.
All right. Daniel Cormier at heavyweight beats John Jones.
So foul if I
You
don't agree.
disagree, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
foul.
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 Jones beats him no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't get popped for steroids again.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. George St. Pierre is the greatest of all time.
I really appreciate George, but I'll say foul again.
Who's your GOAT?
Who's the GOAT? I mean, it's hard to go against Demetrius Johnson. And I mean, I know it's such a small, this small weight class, but I didn't think that Demetrius got the respect that he deserved. Defending his belt for what was it, 9 or 10 times, 11 times.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think that he deserved the loss whenever they fought.
Cejudo.
Yeah, I didn't think he beat him. I didn't think any of them fought well. And when that happens, to me, the champ retains his belt, in my eyes.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Henry, whatever.
Okay.
And I know he's going to go up a weight class.
135.
Yeah.
Wow, you really follow still.
Yeah.
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 I love it.
And I love MMA.
Okay, so staying with the flyweights.
Yeah.
Fair or foul? UFC should get rid of the flyweight division.
Foul again. I love watching those guys fight. They're so explosive. You don't really get to see, like, the heavier these guys go. I mean, as long as guys aren't doing unhealthy things to stay in that division, then
Are you
I think
alluding
they
to
should
something
keep
that
it.
just happened?
No, I didn't hear about
TJ
it.
Dillashaw. Did you hear about this?
Oh yeah, I heard about TJ.
EPO.
I don't know what
Big
EPO
time
is.
stuff. Blood doping.
Okay.
That's serious stuff.
Yeah, and so I mean, look, it's hard to sit here and say, like, you understand what these guys are going through, because you don't. They're entertainers just as much as they are mixed martial artists, and they want to be the best at what they're doing. So it's kind of, I feel like these guys kind of get stuck in between a rock and a hard place at sometimes. So if they're staying and doing the healthy things, to me, it's more along the lines of cutting the weight. If you're cutting so much weight and it's really putting you in a bad position, I don't think that they should keep the weight if people are doing that for an unhealthy reason. But to me, I don't see it as that, and I really enjoy those guys fighting. And I think you're right, Faber. What weight was he when he started fighting?
135.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to get rid of the 125,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have the 135, then you wouldn't have got the 125.
Yeah, you need it.
You know.
I know you're a hardcore fan because you want
Yeah.
to keep the flyweights.
Yeah.
The hardcores want to keep the flyweights.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor will remain retired.
No, I think he'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't believe this, right?
No, I mean, it's kind of you gotta understand Conor's the best at promoting himself, and he's been on the out for a little bit. His last couple of fights, and I know a lot of people. I was a huge McGregor fan.
No more?
I don't want to say no more. I'm not as on him as I once was, just because. After seeing this stuff of him saying it was just a business, It's just business. It's just like, no, man, no, we don't want to hear that. Just as much as if I was out here playing, like, hey, man, take it easy on me. It's just business.
Right,
Nobody.
right.
No, this guy is gonna come at me as hard as he can, and he's gonna go at you as hard as you can. So I think some things for Conor that have transpired over the years is kind of put him in some fans' eyes as not once what he was, and I know how hard that is to do because he dominated the game. It was the best ever, or not the best ever, but he was the best at that time.
Sure.
And did a great job, made a lot of cash, and does a great job of marketing himself. I think this is just one of those next marketing tools. So whenever he does come back, hey, he's coming out of retirement. It's kind of like Brett Favre, you know, coming out of retirement, and here we go, he's fighting again. So, and I think a lot of people see that.
Fair or foul? Brock Lesnar deserves a heavyweight title
Foul.
shot. That was a quick one.
I'm so over Brock Lesnar in the UFC, and I grew up watching wrestling, so it's not like I never was a wrestling fan. I'm not a huge wrestling fan the older that I got. I'd say I got out of wrestling after Stone Cold Steve Austin got out of wrestling.
Fair.
Just to give you some timeline of myself, but how the whole Cormier, is that how you say it?
Cormier, you got it right.
Cormier, Lesnar thing played out in the ring. I'm like, dude, this is that. Like, if the UFC turns into the wrestling, and that's what I felt like. I'm like, dude, like, you just won a nice match. Like, I don't need that. Like, I was a little bit disappointed in how that played out. And I know, like, they're trying to get that match. Hey, dude, you don't have to set it up that way.
Yeah, a little too much.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I was watching, WWE.
Fair or foul? UFC fighters should unionize.
I know Dana, and he's not going to appreciate me saying it, but yes, for sure. I've got to talk to some guys who are UFC fighters as well. It's so hard, and I get why it's so hard for these guys, because you have such an amount of talent that's there, and you have individuals, and you have only a certain amount of people that can fight per card. And so these guys want to fight, and so they're literally taking, they're very undervalued in my opinion for the amount of money that they're bringing into that company. And I know, like I said, sorry Dana, but
I appreciate it. I mean, you know better than anyone. You guys know,
in baseball, I know how the union works, and I'm very involved in our own union.
Right.
But it was the people before me that set this up.
Right.
And it's up to guys like myself to kind of keep it going, and I see what it does for us and how important it is for, especially in an industry that makes billions and billions of dollars off of the athletes. I don't watch the UFC for Dana.
Right.
I watch the UFC because of those athletes that are out there that are putting their lives on the line.
Okay, just a couple left. Thank you for doing this again. Fair or foul? Khabib Nurmagomedov will retire undefeated.
Say that one more time.
Khabib Nurmagomedov will retire undefeated.
No.
Someone will get him?
Yeah. I don't know who.
Okay.
But I definitely think it's so hard, man. It just takes one. It just takes one. Oh, the up-and-comer that I wanted to talk to, or that I was going to say earlier, is the new Gracie. What's his first name?
Crone Gracie.
Crone.
You liked him?
Man, and
what a debut.
What a debut, and I want to see it stand up a little bit more the next time. But what a victory for the Gracie family.
Right.
And also just I loved the comments after the fight.
Yes.
Hey, like, what's your what do you want to say to the people that are in this division? Hey, you better watch your necks.
Yes.
He's like, that's like he's has that card because he's Gracie.
Right.
He just went and did it, right? I guarantee you everybody in that division's nervous over him.
Yeah.
They're nervous.
Yes.
Because they just know all it takes is...
On the ground, he's incredible. Like knife slicing through hot butter.
And I just would like to see him, I would like to see him stand up to see where
Still need to work on that a little bit.
Well, I've heard that he's one of the few Gracies that's worked on it.
Yeah.
So I want to see if he's got that. Because stand up is ultimately, I feel like that's going to get him to where he wants to be.
To the next level.
Yeah. Fair
or foul, Max Holloway will beat Dustin Poirier on Saturday.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think Max is one of in that division, I think he's dominant. What's been great about Max, after seeing him lose early to Conor McGregor, how he's evolved since then as a fighter. And I just really appreciate seeing that out of guys. And I also have an understanding. It's like, how do you get better in those fights? You have to fight. It's very difficult to do that in a training scenario, and to see where he's come from the beginning to where he's been at, you know, in his last few fights. It's been very exciting, and I don't know. I don't think that Dustin
Can hang.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he's a good fighter.
But not quite.
I don't think. But as I said earlier, it just takes one.
Right.
In this game, in that game, it just takes one hit. I mean, we saw what happened to Wonder Boy. I felt like he was dominating that fight.
That's right.
And
I feel like you're still a little
I'm hurt.
torn up about it.
I am.
He'll be back.
Yeah, I know he will. I just didn't like how Showtime hit him the second time when he was on the ground. And I have a lot of respect for Pettis.
That's when the rage kicked in.
Yeah, like because he was already out, and I just feel like some of these referees, man, they need to be better.
Jump in quicker.
Yeah, not quicker. Like, I feel like you have guys like Herb Dean that is always wrong, in my opinion. He's either too early or he's too late. And it's kind of like it's depending on what happened in the fight before,
reactive.
But like, hey, you just gotta be in the fight and watch the guy. Like when Wonder Boy went down, he was out. Like you jump in, you cover the guy to protect him. You see some guys when they go down, they're not out. Like they're still throwing a guard up.
Right.
If a guy goes stiff, you cover him.
Right.
I just feel like some of these referees need to be held a little bit more accountable, and they need to start getting some new guys in there that are going to do a better job. Because some of these dudes are. Who was it in the fight the other Stud? Where
Askren Lawler?
Yes.
Yes, he wasn't out.
And if the fight got stopped.
Right.
And he said that he was gave him the thumbs up, and he said, "Hey, I only had 10 seconds left, and I'm just gonna sit here and ride it out." I've seen that happen so many times, and you just go to the next round, and then, Robbie Lawler's a beast of an animal, And I just hated it. And Askren's one of those guys who is up and coming, who's had a lot of success, and I feel like that win is almost like an asterisk, because he didn't. And Robbie, he didn't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, no.
But as a fan, I'm a fan.
Right.
And I don't like to see that happen. And I know it's hard to be perfect all the time, but I just feel like some of the times some of these refs are not trusting their own instincts, or just something. I feel like we're not getting the best out of those guys.
Right.
And I feel like that would help the sport.
Sure, of course. Still a lot of evolution that needs to happen. From the fighting, refereeing, officiating, unionizing, all that stuff, more the business.
Yeah.
This has been a blast, my man.
Yeah.
I could talk to you about this for an hour.
I could go on.
I know.
I love the sport.
You're enjoying it.